Hi everyone, this is the Nordic Venture Show, your guide to the exciting world of Nordic startups and venture capital. In today's episode, we're exploring a startup called Notify Therapeutics.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we are going to be diving into the world of fertility science, a topic I know a lot of you out there are really interested in. Specifically, we're going to be looking at this company called Notify Therapeutics, who is making some pretty bold claims about their new non-hormonal fertility treatment for women.
Yeah, there's definitely been a lot of buzz surrounding Notify's approach, and we're here to unpack it all.
Okay, so Notify Therapeutics, wow. So their whole thing is that they're saying they're tapping into the very, very, very beginning stages of egg development, like even before hormones come into play, which is wild.
Yeah, and that's what makes this so different. I mean, think about it. Traditional hormone treatments, it's kind of like, just watering the entire garden and hoping something pops up. What Notify is claiming is that, no, they can actually go in and carefully nurture the individual seeds, so to speak.
So instead of just like flooding your system with hormones, they're saying that they can actually like work with what's already there. So how does that even work? It almost sounds too good to be true.
Well, so one of the research papers that we were looking at, they used a rodent model, and the results were actually pretty incredible. They found that Notify's method increased the number of viable eggs produced by almost, are you ready for this? 50% compared to the control group.
Wait, 50%?
Yeah. And not only that, but in human tissue samples, they also observed some really, really promising signs of follicle growth and maturation.
See, now that is huge, especially for women who are struggling with low ovarian reserves. As I'm sure many of our listeners know, that's when the number and quality of your eggs start to decline, which obviously makes conception a lot more difficult.
Exactly. And you know what else is really cool about Notify's claim here? They're saying that this method doesn't interfere with the natural selection process that happens in your ovaries.
Okay, so that means there's a lower chance of multiple births, which is obviously a big concern with some fertility treatments.
Exactly.
And on top of that, did you say they're seeing positive results in human tissue?
Yeah, so far their initial safety studies haven't really raised any major red flags, which is really promising.
That's amazing. Okay, but we do have to remember that this is still a new technology. It's still in the really early stages. And I mean, that kind of brings up a big question. Even if this is like a miracle breakthrough, will people actually even be able to afford it?
That's the million-dollar question right there.
Yeah.
I mean, Notify Therapeutics, they are a relatively new company.
Yeah.
And honestly, with any new groundbreaking technology like this, there are always going to be those questions about affordability and who is actually going to be able to benefit from it.
Yeah. Actually, one of the articles we were looking at, it was quoting a leading fertility expert. And he was basically saying that finding a way to, and I'm paraphrasing here, but he was basically saying that finding a way to consistently produce good quality eggs in women with low reserves is like finding the holy grail of infertility.
Yeah, it really is the holy grail. And I mean, if this works, the potential impact here is huge.
Absolutely. It could be life-changing for a lot of people, but I guess we just kind of have to wait and see.
Yeah, absolutely.
So as we're wrapping up this deep dive on Notify Therapeutics, is there anything that really stood out to you from all this research? What are your big takeaways?
For me, I think it's just the audacity of it all. You know, like they are really trying to change the entire way we think about fertility treatment.
Yeah.
It's a really bold move, and it'll be really interesting to see how it all plays out.
And for those of you listening at home, if you're thinking, oh my God, this is amazing, sign me up, just remember that this is still in its very early stages. The real test is going to be the accessibility of it and the long-term efficacy, of course. So in the meantime, make sure you're doing your research, talk to your doctor, and just stay informed.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us for another deep dive, everyone. See you next time.
Thanks for listening to the Nordic Venture Show. Don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for more stories of innovation from the Nordics.